Hello everyone, I am Mike McCann, the real estate man. I want to tell you a little bit about my history in real estate. 33 years in the business, and I don't want to boast, but I have been the top agent every year since 1988 in Philadelphia. I've also been nationally recognized by the Wall Street Journal as the top 50 every year for the last 20 years. I have literally settled thousands and thousands of properties. My team and I have settled over 11,000 properties. I love real estate. When I started in real estate, I quickly learned there are a few things that you absolutely need to be successful in real estate. One is you have to become the most knowledgeable in your marketplace. Two, you have to have the best reputation in the whole marketplace. And three, of course, you have to work hard. So there are no shortcuts. You have to put the work in. But if you put the work in, you love your client, you have empathy, compassion, you're a confidence builder, you get results, and do what's best for your client, the success will follow. What drives me every day is the impact that I have in people's lives with one of the biggest decisions in their life. How important I have become, how much I have helped them, and that is joy. So I would ask you, what drives you every day? Why would you want to get into real estate and be successful? These are really important questions to ask yourself because it will shape the success that you have in real estate, how you approach each and every client. So I really hope you enjoy the courses that we put together for you. This is one of the joys of my life today, helping people grow and become successful in real estate. And I am always there for you. Thanks a lot.
My name is Jim Onesti. I've been a realtor for 20 years. Real estate is an imperfect business, and over the last 20 years, I've made plenty of mistakes that I've learned from and helped grow my business into a consistent, top-producing business every year, and have helped other agents do the same. Our goal with the Philly Real Estate School is to take decades worth of lessons and condense them into a few hours of high-impact, useful videos that any agent can benefit from, whether they're a new agent or a seasoned agent looking to take their business to the next level. At the Philly Real Estate School, we will have lessons on how to double your business, how to survive your first year in the business, how to build a mega real estate team, how to capture and successfully sell new construction listings and build a new construction business. We will have instructors like Mike McCann, the real estate man, myself, and other individuals who can add value and help you take your business to the next level. We built the Philly Real Estate School because we work in a culture of sharing. It benefits us all as the level of professionalism and knowledge increases in all realtors. Not only that, someone has done it for me. At the beginning of my career, I've had fantastic mentors that have helped me take my business and my personal life to a higher level. And that's what I would like to do for you.
Thanks everyone for joining. If you can just make sure that your microphone is muted just for this time so that it's only me, Jim, and Mike speaking. Welcome to the Philly Real Estate School, first ever Zoom podcast, whatever you want to call this, during these times. We're really excited to get this going. We've been working for a while on this. Mike, Jim, me, and Asa, we built the Philly Real Estate School because we wanted to give back to the community and we wanted to provide value for everyone in there because when one agent wins, we all win. So we thought this would be a good time to get this kicked, to get it started, to get it moving. And there's no better people to have other than Mike and Jim, especially talking about, which we're going to just be discussing today, how do you lead during times like this? How do you lead through the highs and lows? One of the questions Mike always gets when he's doing these podcasts is, how have you created this longevity? How have you had this team and you've been number one for so long? How do you do it? There's tons of questions around it, and we're going to go right into it. First, we have to honor the current situation. I am very wary that everyone's talking about what the COVID virus is doing to the market, and there's a lot of negative conversations going on out there. So we're only probably going to spend 5 minutes on this, and then we're going to talk about what we can do to be proactive during these times, and we're going to try and be positive throughout this. So Mike or Jim, whoever wants to answer this first, but give us a snapshot of what you think's happening in the market right now.
Okay, well, I will take that. Being the senior member here, this is my 5th economic downturn. How I see this is health first, and we did a public service announcement, stay home. We can always come back and make money. Right now we have to stay home, take care of the health and well-being of our family, and be respectful of the community at large, help anybody that we can. That is the first message that I have. I've been home, I'm driving everybody crazy. I've been home for, I don't know, 2 weeks now. And so get a physical routine. I'm still waking up. I'm still doing my routine. Although I'm doing a little bit more exercise. I'm doing 250 push-ups a day to keep me sane. But I'm on podcast, Zoom, and I've been nonstop. Now, it's not money-making activities, but it's helping people. It's reaching out. It's being a confidence builder. But let me just tell you briefly about, I believe, this downturn, and this is my 5th. It's going to be a short-lived downturn, 3 to 6 to 9 months. We will recover. The jobs will come back. We will get out there. Fundamentally, the market, we had the lowest unemployment. We had incredible activity in our marketplace. We had a low inventory of real estate. We have the lowest interest rates in practically 30 years. We have the lowest inventory of places available. So fundamentally for real estate, the markets was incredibly strong. This is a pause, and we don't know the effects, and we might not be out for another month or 2. And it's going to be 3 months of downturn. It really, really is. I was not always Mike McCann, the real estate man. My growth mostly came through downturns. Everybody else gave up. People left the business. I continued to plug away. And then whether it was the 89, 90 through 96 downturn, which was a real estate depression, 35% of the agents left the marketplace. Every major firm in Center City closed up. Coldwell Banker, Weicker, Century 21, there was a Remax, Stark Landmarks for Living, Merrill Lynch got out. It was insane. But my business, I kept plugging away, and I kept making a living, and each year growing. And then when the market came back in 97, 98, I went to the top. And we were doing good. And then came 2000. And that market with the dot-com crash came down 6-9 months, and then we came back. Then 9/11 came, and that freaked out the whole world, kind of like today. Today's crisis reminds me of 9/11, throwing in the AIDS epidemic, because I was around in the AIDS epidemic, which was devastating for our downtown marketplace. The fears that were going on at that time. So this is a combination of both. But 9/11, we recovered. Within a year, we started to recover. And then we had the 08 downturn. Probably more of you remember that. And that was horrible. A lot of people left the business, and that was down for 3, 4, 5 years. And then we came roaring back. So I believe that we will come back. But what you have to do is not give up. I remember I didn't disappear. I actually increased my marketing. I increased my working. I learned more, and I continually grew. So that's what I believe now. There's going to be people that leave the business. There's friends that are going to be closing restaurants up. There's going to be some tough times for some people. Us in real estate will be needed now more than ever. You know, in these go-go days of 15, 16, 17, anybody could get in real estate. Anybody could make money. You didn't need much talent. You just needed to show up. In tougher times, we need to direct, guide our clients. They need us more than ever. And so I just want to tell everybody that
We are in the best business in the world, and we have the best opportunity. And now you will find people need you more than ever. Should I buy? Should I sell? What do I need to do it? And so you have to educate yourself so you can become the most educated. You can do what's best for them. You can then direct and guide them. And that message will get you so much more business.
And we're going to go into a lot of this in detail. No, you're good. We're going to go into this in a lot of detail. Jim, do you have anything about, anything to add about the market right now, the current situation? And again, we're going to talk about how to be proactive during these times, but do you have anything to add on what Mike said there?
Yeah, I'll just jump in. I'll say, yeah, this is, my 20th year in the business, and I've seen some downturns and some booms as well. And my days right now from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., I'm on the phone and I'm on a lot of these calls, and I'm talking to agents around the country and locally, doesn't matter what company they're with. And the word I'm really focusing on this week, being week 2 or week 3 of this crisis, is really locking in on opportunity. And us as agents, right now, we really have a lot of opportunity. We have an opportunity to really add value and really help people. We also have an opportunity to grow our business in certain ways. Downturns for me, I've always picked up my best clients, my clients who've now been with me for 18, 15, 10 years. I've also in these downturns, I've bought some real estate. My best pieces of investment properties have come during these down times. So there's a lot of silver linings, and a lot of my conversations this week have been about the silver linings of this market, about the opportunity in this market.
Yeah. So let's just dive into it. First question I have for both of you, and I'm lucky enough to be a part of the team, so I'm lucky enough to be in these conversations anyway. But you're hitting the nail on the head. We have an opportunity here. And there's only so much we can control, right? There's so much that's going out of our control right now, and we can't do anything about this pandemic. We can't do anything about not showings. But there are some aspects of our business and our personal life that we can control. So I want to point this to Jim. But how do you suggest people stay proactive during these times? What should they be focusing on how to build their business?
Well, right now, personally, I haven't changed anything. I'm up early, and I'm in bed early. I'm pretty boring. I am really just, I'm over communicating more than I typically do on a daily basis with folks. I have a lot of clients who they've been with me for 12 years. I've never met them. I've never seen their face because they're from another state, and all I've seen is their driver's license. So it's really been an opportunity for me to communicate with those folks probably 10 times more than they're used to. And then my regular clients who are local and I see fairly regularly, I've stepped that up as well, and I communicate with them triple, quadruple. That word's been thrown around a lot now, over communicate, but I think it is probably the best word to come out of this crisis right now. So I am on the phone. I'm face to face like this with a lot of my clients right now, just really talking about their business and really strategizing for the comeback. I'm talking to them about what they're going to do to recoup and for the comeback after they survive this.
So you tell me whether this is correct, but it sounds like right now you're honing on your database. You're not exactly or directly going for new business right now. You're honing on your past clients, your repeated clients, people that you've done a lot of work with. So that's definitely something that people can control during this pandemic, right? Is reaching out to your database. And like you said, as a human being, not as an agent first.
And the side effect of that is the people who are not my clients right now, but they're active in the marketplace, and I talk to them and I keep in touch with them regularly anyway, not during this crisis. I am talking to them through this crisis. And yeah, I bet you eventually they are my client in a year from now or 5 years from now. And, so I'm not asking for business. I'm not saying, hey, list that development with me, but I'm adding value. One thing we all have is we're closer to the market as realtors as any of these folks are, whether they're big developers or just a regular buyer or a home seller. We have insight and perspective that they they can never have because we're so close to the market. So I'm giving them that perspective of what I'm seeing on the street, what I'm hearing in all these Zoom calls I'm having every week. And they find that very valuable. And it's just not another conversation. Like, I'm actually telling them some stuff they're not going to hear anywhere else.
Right. And Mike, I want to jump in and get you to answer that question in a second. I do want to bring up one thing. If you have questions for Mike, Jim, anyone on the call, please put it in the chat, and Asa will be going through the questions and we'll do a Q&A at the end. Mike, how are you staying proactive during this time?
Well, there's a couple things. Again, in every downturn, our business can change. We learn new things. So the key thing for my team, I said, we're home. We need to educate ourselves. We need to learn, do all the things that we didn't have the time to do because we were so busy. If you're a KW agent, it's command. It's invest in command. You have to invest in yourself. But this will be a life change. This will be like 9/11, where you'll see, we know where we were, if you were around then, where we were at 9/11. This change will be like a 9/11. We'll be talking about this for the next 10, 20 years. When you're my age, you'll sound like an old guy saying, I remember back then, but we will. What's really the exciting part for me is the Zoom. I did a listing appointment on Zoom. I'm a personal guy. I'm out listing, and that's what I love to do. And I like to make personal connections because my clients are important. I can't believe the connection I had with these two guys on this listing appointment. It was an hour and 15 minutes on Zoom. They walked me through their house. Then we talked at the table. And we were face to face. As soon as they were done, they said, send over the paperwork, Mike. So I have that listing. I'm signed up, and I'm building my inventory. So that the day that the floodgates are open, we can get out there. But I agree with Jim. I am not asking anyone for business. And when people are asking me for business right now, whatever industry it is, I just wanted to delete that email or text. So not asking for business, but reaching out. Like Jim, I have spoken to more people I've done a video to my group, my contacts. I've done texts, I've done emails, and I've done phone calls, and I've gotten such response back. And it's just like, keep your family safe. We will recover. Never give up. People will, unfortunately, leave the business, and you'll pick up market share. So even if our business only recovers 85 or 90% how we were in February, the people that leave the business, as an experienced agent, a growing agent, a caring agent, you will grow market share. Like Jim said, we picked up some of our best clients because when the going gets tough, the tough get going, and that's what we do. Our goal was to do 1,000 transactions this year. We were probably going to make it. We did 90 in February. Well, you know what? We might only do 700 this year. And if we do, that's okay. We will grow, but we'll grow our business. We're not leaving. This is not the end of the world. And as much as you could say, oh, this is horrible, and it is horrible. Don't get me wrong. It's not like we've been shipped to the fields of Normandy and we're going to war and we're going to get killed and half of us are going to die. It's a serious thing, but it's not the end of the world. We still have heat. We still have our homes. And my first message was, if you need anything, I will help you. If I need concessions on rentals, I'm going to work with those people. If somebody needs some food delivered, I'm going to have that delivered. I'm going to help people. And that's the message that I'm doing. But also, like Jim, I am nonstop. I thought, we'll have all this free time to hang out. My grandkids are downstairs. I haven't seen them yet today. I'm going to get an hour and I'm going to go do it. But I have been going from 7:30 in the morning till about 7 at night, because 7 to 9, I have my dinner and we do Netflix with my wife, and then she goes to bed, and then I'm back working again. But I have listened to more block, and I love Zoom, man. And so what I've started to do now is a client contacts me, I text them a Zoom. I know how to set up Zoom. And so I'm having a visual conversation. And one more thing, and I'll shut up, is I always say to my agents, get the appointment. Well, I just got lost. Shoot.
Go ahead. No worries. Carry on. You're still good.
Can you still see me? I can't see you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
anyway,
sort it out.
So I always say to get the appointment. Now with Zoom, it's almost like if I get the appointment, there's a 90% chance I'm capturing that client. With Zoom, now I'm talking to them, the connection I'm making is like getting that appointment. We're going to do team meetings this way. Instead of us trying to all meet, we're doing them. It is so effective. So that's one area where the industry is changing and we can change and grow. But the best business in the world, don't give up, invest in yourself. That's your toolbox.
I know one thing that we've been talking a lot about as a team on how to be proactive during these times is sort out your database. Now is the perfect time. You know, not typically, because especially in the spring market, we don't have time to sort out our database. We don't have time to make sure all our contacts are fully updated or they're tagged properly. Now we have nothing but time. And, you know, top real estate agents in the business, they always say your database is your business. You should be able to go onto your database, know who is a past client who bought, know who's a past client who sold, know who your active sellers and buyers are, know which ones that you need to nurture. So that's something I know. I have probably spent 80% of my time going through my database, making sure everyone is tagged properly. And then something else I know that we've been focusing on is working on our 33 touch system. So that's something, and if you're not familiar with the term, it's basically 33 different ways that you're going to reach out to your database throughout the year. So I've just been building content and just as a team, like I said, still keep building content, building template emails so that when we get out of this cloud, this mess, we can hit the ground running. We have systems in place so that when a lead comes through on Zillow, no matter what CRM you can use, you can sort out an action plan for them where you can make sure that you're following up with that lead and you can stay in control of your business. So I know one thing definitely right now that I'm doing, and it's 90% of my time, it really is focusing on your database and focusing on your marketing and things that you can use for the future. You know, so we did this, we only did this because of a rebranding recently, but we went through our listing appointment again, our listing marketing plan, and we updated it. We went through it. We said what didn't work, what did work. You should be doing the same thing. You should be going through your listing appointment and your buyer appointment marketing plans and saying, yeah, this is great. We need to add this in now. We need to add this in, you know, adapt. Like the virtual showings right now, we can do that. We actually need to add that into our buyer package for sure. But two things, be proactive. I know that you've been really shouting out, going on about is sort out your database and work on your systems so that you aren't worrying about that stuff when we hit the ground running.
Sure.
So,
we always say, right? We always say, are you investing your time or are you spending your time, right? And one of the themes right now is invest your time wisely now, so you're not spending your time during the recovery, which is going to be precious time, valuable time, when we're allowed to be back out there on the street, servicing our clients, getting our revenue flow again. That time is precious. So invest your time now. Invest in stuff that you don't normally have time to take care of. And like you just said with the 33 touch, here's what we know. 75% of buyers and sellers say that they would use their realtor again if they ever bought or sold again. That's a great number, 75%. That's National Association of Realtors numbers. The percentage of people that actually do use the same realtor again, that do use the same realtor is 12%. 75% say they will, 12% actually do. And why is that? Because their agent didn't have a methodic system in place to touch that person over the 3 years between their real estate purchases. And that's it. They did not stay front of mind. So our 36 touch, which is growing and growing and growing, it's a time consuming thing, but now's the perfect time to reorganize it and just make it better, or just start one if you don't have one.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's minimum cost. It's not like buying Zillow or Realtor.com or Choya, but you know, one of the things that I want my team to do and myself is get leads to live and to come up with systems right now that will generate leads when we are allowed back out there. And later today, or my marketing person is going through Instagram with my team. So we're going to do an hour or 2 hour team thing on Instagram. Now, yeah, in like 08, 7, 08, 09, people say, Mike, you got to get on Facebook. I'm like, oh, not another thing. Forget about it. And so I resisted it. About 2010, 10 and a half, I got on Facebook. And all of a sudden, I went from not being in that world to getting incredible business. I can't tell you how much business, referral business from clients, referral business from agents. People got to know who Mike McCann was before they just saw my sign. Facebook allowed me to be who I am. And so instead of people having this false image of me, because I don't just share just market, I share who I am, the things that I care about, the people I want to help. So it made me human, incredible. Now Instagram is where the millennials are more onto than Facebook. Now Facebook's, the 50-year-olds, not only, but what I'm saying. So I don't understand Instagram that great. I'm on there. So I want, and I have speak to young agents who are like, I get most of my business from Instagram. So we're going to educate ourselves on that and come up with a better Instagram plan. We're coming up with better plans to generate leads. And one last thing is, so you have to invest in, you can't just listen and learn and take notes. You have to do. I always joke with my agents or people I'm helping, like, did you ever hear of Nike? Yeah. Just do it. You have to do it. You have to create an action plan instead of, so you can't just educate yourself and know all this stuff. If you don't implement that, you're not going to go anywhere. And it doesn't have to be everything. So for us, I really want us to learn command. I mean, there's a lot of things I'm seeing nationally where people are using pieces of command to generate a lot of leads. So we're learning. So you have to learn. And then one last thing, and I'll shut up, Ben, is there's so many people asking questions right now. So people are fearful. People don't know what direction it is. We have to be, and I help people in all areas of their life because that's how important I've come with a lot of my clients as I got to know them. So I'll direct them, and people ask me all kinds of questions, not even just real estate, and I help them. But in real estate, should I sell? Should I buy? We have to know these answers, and then we have to take them under our arms and get them through that process.
Yeah, it's funny when I used to do these leadership talks, Mike. We mentioned this the other day in our team Zoom call. You have to be a duck in these times. People are looking for us to be leaders, and in these times, you have to be a duck. And ducks, when they're in the lake and they're in the pond, when they're swimming above water, they look elegant. They look like they're not doing anything in the world. They've got no cares in the world. Underneath the water, what you don't see is that duck's going like that, like it's like paddling for its life. But you can't see any of that. And that kind of leads me into my next thing that we're going to talk about. How do you lead during times like this? And I'm not just speaking about, this is a question whether you're an individual agent. This is for how do you lead during these times as a human being, as a brother, as a sister, a parent. Maybe you are a leadership. Maybe you're a year in the business and you just started a team. I know you say that you've learned a lot during downturns. That's probably where you've grown the most. So how, if I am a new leader, or if I'm a leader in whatever business, personal business life, how do I help motivate my team, motivate the people around me, and help them stay focused on what they can control? How would you do that, Mike?
I was going to give Jimmy a turn.
Yeah, sure, Jimmy, Mike, either one.
Jimmy, because let's
Yeah.
get to.
Well, thank you. I've been talking to a lot of team leaders lately, and I've been telling them to just put your best players on the field right now, right? You as the team leader, you're there, you've been through this before, you're keeping everyone calm. But when you're on a team or part of a team, or just someone who people look to, whether it's your clients or your neighbors or your actual real estate team, putting your best players on the field during these times means you stepping in to all aspects of the business. If we're talking about business, me personally, I'm trying to step in. Any team member who's negotiating a sale and they need help, I'll step in right now to save a deal, to give language. I know you and Mike are doing the same thing. Not only people in our team, people in our entire company. You know, I'm on calls all day long, just adding whatever strength and experience I have to help people through what they're going through. And then on the personal side of things, you can apply that to anything, you know, family, friends, neighbors. Everyone has their challenges right now. So I'm really just making myself, and people should make themselves available to do things that they wouldn't normally do or have time to do. And Mike always says it, you know, successful people are willing to do things that others are just not willing to do. And that's what makes them successful. And that's what keeps them successful. Because getting there is one thing, but then staying there is twice as hard.
Yeah. And Mike, just before you jump in there,
sure.
Jim, I know one thing that you believe in, and I know Mike does too, is you model the behavior you wish to see. You can't be a hypocrite. And Jim, we're going to go into this later, but you sent something out to the team on how you prepare for a downturn is you cut your expenses. And we are going to go into that because it was a fantastic email. But what you just said there, you got to model the behavior you wish to see. You got to be, you know, walk the walk, so to speak. Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
No, that's okay. That is great stuff. And Jimmy's email was unbelievable. And I'm glad you're going to share that, Ben. The first message that you to me is in times like this is where I really love our fellow human beings and Americans, because we all do pull together. We are all in this together. And I want to try to be a solution and help people. We all start to think of how grateful you know, we are for what we have. Yes, this is horrible. My father is in the hospital. He's 85 and he has it. He's not been diagnosed, but I'm waiting for the test. But he has the fever. He's on the thing. I was hunting with him 3 weeks ago. How 85-year-old guy, still a college professor, teaching a couple classes. He's in the friggin' hospital. So I am, you know, I think my sister had it because she was sick for like 3 weeks, but the doctor didn't get her tested because they didn't have them. So it's affecting. I did go out yesterday and pick up some groceries. My wife asked me to pick up groceries, and we had it where they bring it to you. And I went to this Giant, and I walked in, and it looked like the end of the world. I mean, people have masks on, and there's people. It was like, this is crazy stuff. So we have to be compassionate, and we have to help out. You know, we have to help out where we can, and it's health first. We will go back, and we will grow our business, and we will succeed. But human health first. Ben, what was your question? Because I just rambled on and I forgot the question.
No, you answered it. But the question was, how do you lead during these times? How do you keep people motivated, and how do you keep people focused?
Yeah. And you are a product of who you hang around with. You look at the top 5 people you hang around with, and that's who you're going to be. You know, back in my teens, I left my neighborhood because I didn't want to stay there anymore. I loved them, but I knew where I would be if I kept hanging around there. So, to be honest with you, so you look at I look for Gary Keller stepped up right away. Our brokerage, Jeremy, Noah, all of them stepped up right away. The training, the support. For my team, stepped up right away. I did a video to my team. I'm reaching out to my team individually. I'm supporting them. Successful people associate with successful people, and it really is a mindset. This will pass. You know, as long as you live, so you protect. So you know, we're not going out, we're not doing it, but we're supporting each other, helping each other. And I think it was Monday. Yeah, I was the first week. I'm home. I'm doing Zoom. It's great. And on Monday it was dreary and cold, and I'm like, I think I'm depressed, man, you know. And, you know, about an hour later, you know, I had an espresso. I spoke to a couple of people, and then I was going again, you know. So I don't, you know, people say to me, like, what were your failures in your life? And I say, I've never had any failures. I've had a few bad moments and a few bad hours, but you got to move on. So just reaching out, supporting people, and growing, and knowing we're going to be out there. There's going to be tough times, but being associated with positive people. People who are on here today want to do better. You're going to take this and you're going to help other people, or you're helping other people in your own way. And that's why, you know, I am so grateful, and this is not a KW thing, but I am so grateful with the leadership of our company internationally, because the people from all over the country, but then I'm proud of our KW Philly, the number one brokerage, 3-4 years in the business in Philly, the support that they're putting out to everyone. And any of us would help anyone within our company. And you see that everywhere. And that's what you have to do. When I didn't have anything, I still helped people that were less fortunate than me. And being a leader, it's funny. It was easier when I was broke and poor and didn't have anything, because now there's many more people that I'm responsible for, but I am committed to them. I told my staff, I have your money in the bank. I will not lay you off no matter what. We will be back. Do not worry. Work from home. Make me proud. It's an honor system. So leading by example. I totally agree.
It's something that I actually think, and I've been talking to realtors in other brokerages, and because we're all one community. That's what this thing is all about. It's all one community. And I've had emails on really good information from other brokerages, from other realtors out there. People are really, sometimes when we're in the woods, so to speak, and we're battling to be number one, it can seem like you have one brokerage over here, and we're against each other. But this community is really pulled together, and I've seen a lot of people sharing a lot of really good stuff, having conversations just because we're human beings. Mike, I know one thing that you do that I think you've leading through tough times, you've built a culture, right? You've built a culture around you and around your beliefs. We have the term McCann isms in the team. We've built this language that we try to live by, right? When you have these situations, I want to really think about this question here, but what have you learned most? No, in fact, that's not what I want to ask. What have you learned most from a downturn about how important, actually forget that question, how important is culture to building a world-class team? Because I think that is for me, I think it's the number one reason why you've had this longevity, because you've built this culture.
I from day one, when I got in real estate, I learned 3 things. And people know me, heard me say this a million times, so I apologize. But 3 things. I said, in real estate, everybody cooperates. There's a listing agent, there's a selling agent. I want to have the best reputation in the marketplace. Nobody's my competitor. I want to have the best reputation so that other agents show my listings or they present my offers. So I want to have the best reputation in the marketplace. 2, I want to become the most educated. So back in the 80s when I got in, you didn't have you didn't have the internet, you didn't have easy training. I used to take classes at Temple Real Estate Institute. Alan Dom was one of my mentors from afar. 1990, he was the #1 sales guy in America. And he taught me a lot of things. So I continue to educate. So I want to have the best reputation, have the best education, so I can help people. And then I already worked the hardest because my desire was to succeed. I didn't want to be in life where I started out. And so I had that fire, I became educated, and I cooperated. And then I got ideas. I remember I took a course from Alan Dom in 1989, Temple Real Estate Institute. And he said, Mike, and there was no teams then, Mike, if you don't have an assistant, you are an assistant. The next year, I hired my first assistant in 1989, and I was scared to death. But it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I went from the king of control to the king of delegation, and I made another $40,000 that year, which was big dollars. So that's important. What was the rest of that question?
It's just because you're so authentic. I think that's one of the reasons why you have built a team that has been around forever. I mean, Jim, you're the best person to ask this question. You could have started your own team ages ago. You do a tremendous amount of business. What value does being a part of a team bring to you?
Yeah, I think the key is really aligning yourself with people with similar values, right? That's what makes it work. And finding talented people, being with talented people, having similar values, and that's really what causes longevity. And, Mike has a punchline for this. I'm not going to steal it from him. I'm going to let him use it.
Go ahead.
But, it's about investing in people, right? We all struggle. We all look for that investment property where we're ready to drop a big amount of money for a 7% return, 10% return. What if you invested that same amount of money in a person? What's your return on that person? Is it going to be 7%? I would argue it's going to be 100, 500, 1,000% over time. So it's really about finding people, aligning yourself with the right people with the same values and investing in them, and when you find the right people, you don't have to tell them these things. They just do it inherently and they invest back. And that's really what makes it work.
Jim, I know you have a wonderful way of people that have never experienced a downturn. Like me, I've never experienced a downturn as an agent. For me, this is all new, right? This is like, what's happening? The world's going down, like running around crazy. And I'm in one of your emails recently, and we're going to talk about this now. You said, downturns and shifts, they're common. This isn't unnatural. This isn't the first time this has ever happened. It's happened before. We learned from it before. We're still here. How can we learn from this one? And you talk about leading by example, and I think this is something that other people who are leading teams in this chat can learn from you. You recently made yourself incredibly vulnerable to the team to help us grow. And you sent us a long email, and we won't go into specifics, but you sent us an email about how you have looked at your expenses during these times. Just explain a little bit for me. Why was the reason you did that, and what value did it bring to you?
Sure. These market shifts, we're going to see a lot of them if we're in the business over the next decade or two, right? They happen every, 5 to 7 years. And, one key thing, I wrote a playbook last downturn, 07, 08, 09. I said, if this ever happens again, I'm going to be ready. And for 10 years, I've been writing that playbook and just taking notes and really, I did that to help me in the next downturn, which we're in right now potentially, but also to help younger agents and people who haven't been through it. I'm cutting my low ROI expenses, right? That's part of the playbook. I'm cutting any expenses I don't get a huge return on, right? And I'm really going to save those dollars and reinvest them back into the business at the right time. And I think that's business 101. I think I went through my Amex bills, my business account, my personal account. You'll be amazed what's in there when you really take the time to look at it. And I eliminated all the junk stuff that I'm not getting a 2, 3, 4, 5, 600% return on came out. So I thought it'd be fun to share that with the team. And I itemized every item I cut, personal, family, and business. And I put it in an email, summarized it for the team as a way just to show them that I'm doing it and it's okay to do it. And also just to show them what you will find if you dig into your expenses. I found fees in there, $25 a month for this, $10 for that I've been getting charged for probably 2 years and just didn't realize it. And that money.
Jim, you've been paying for my vacations the last 5 years. Thank you so much.
Yeah, there's some crazy stuff in there. Yeah.
No, but go ahead.
That's just right out of the playbook. You're going to cut your low ROI expenses. You're going to build your war chest, and you're going to redeploy those assets at the right strategic time. It's not like you're cutting something out and you're never going to do that type of marketing again. But if it's not bringing in dollars when you really need it, as your revenue stream is cut during these downturns, it needs to come out.
Yeah, and it's funny. There was this article, some journalist wrote it about saying how the coronavirus is it's almost a way to look at it as a fresh start and, a time where the world stood still. And there are so many, when you're listening to podcasts, which I'm sure many people do on here, they're listening to podcasts, they're reading about how to be a better person, a better agent, a better business owner. You always say, oh, I would love to do that. I know for a while I've been thinking, I've got to cut some of my expenses. I think I'm paying like 2 Disney Plus accounts. I think I've got 3 Netflix accounts somewhere. And I just never had the time because we're answering emails. It's the spring market. We're reacting to emails constantly and we're not spending time being proactive. I think that's something that everyone can take away from this. Look at your expenses as a personal and as a business right now. That's an excellent way for you to be productive and proactive during these times. Mike, did you have something to say?
I do. So I think Jim's point about investing in humans is so important. And if anyone knows me, I'm a family guy. So Jim's been with me since he was 22 years old. I am so proud of Jim. It's unbelievable. And Jim could have opened his own team, opened his own company, did whatever. But I always say, Jim doesn't need me at all. I don't need Jim at all. But together, it's one, and that 1 and 1 equals 3, not 2. I am way better with Jim, and Jim is way better with me. And I make sure that responsibility that I'm always helping him and he's helping me, and he's giving back. And one of the proud things with my team is, I've had more than half my team's been with me 10 to 20 years. They bought me a plaque. It was an album, Hotel California, and they framed it for my office, and it's that song. It's such a lovely place, but you can never leave. But we hire people that want to grow, that have a great positive attitude, that are family first, just like the Keller model. It's family, then business, and that's always first. Yet we want people that work hard, that are smart, that are successful, that have good chemistry. Super, super important. Cutting your budget is a great thing to go through. And you're a product of your environment. So when I got in real estate in 86, the market still had boom. It was 85 when I decided I was going to get in real estate. But from 79 to 83, interest rates in the country were like 19%. It was a nightmare. Real estate was gone. About 85, rates dropped to about 12 to 14%. So the market started to boom. I was pretty young. A couple of my friends started to buy real estate. And so 86, 87, the market was going up 20% a year. I'm watching Bill Rouse build a place. I'm watching all these builders, all these people become successful, and they're big shots. They're spending their money. All these realtors spending the money. 89, 90, the market collapsed. In the next 2 years, everybody 70% went into bankruptcy. All these big shots lost everything. So that I watched that and I thought, I am saving, man. I am saving. So fast forward, the 08 downturn, I cut wasted expenses, but I remember I said to my team, I have your salary for a year. Nobody's getting laid off my support staff. And as a matter of fact, we're going to triple our marketing. And so I actually increased my marketing to generate business. So you can't disappear. Most people will retreat because they've not prepared for it. You can't retreat. You can look at ways to save money. So I've been going to a lot of my vendors right now. I have a big expense, and people are cutting 10, 20, 30, 40%. So go to every vendor that you deal with right now. Zillow, Realtor.com, mailings, ads, whatever you're doing, and renegotiate. I've gotten some big savings on that, whether I need it or not. So look at that, but don't disappear. Now's the time to be more in front of your people and to grow your business, because other people will be going, and those people, like Jim said, will be looking for new people to help them through this crisis. And I had so many Facebook messages to people that I don't know, that I've given these pep talks to, and it's not even a pep talk. It sounds like a pep talk, but it's the reality of this world that we live in, that this too will pass. We will get through it. Don't crawl up and die.
Yeah. We're going to open it up for Q&As in a second, but there is, during this time, it's funny. There's nothing sexy that you can do during this time, right? And this is the difference, I think, between the agents that will stay in the business and the agents that will leave the business. Agents who just do what they want to do because they like it, it's fun, and only stay at this end, they're just going to do what they want to do. They're not going to do the boring stuff. When I say go through your database, tag your client, trust me, I have an attention span of a squirrel, right? It is one of the toughest things for me to do, to sit down and go through stuff like that. But it's not something I want to do. It's something I should be doing right now. And Jim, I'm sure going through your expenses, although shocking it might have been at some points, and it might have led to some funny conversations, but it's not something you wanted to do. It's something you should do. Some people, they want to hear this secret formula on how to be successful during these times, and they want to have this beautiful plan that sounds fun. It's the people that do what they should be doing right now. You know, someone put a question on there, and we are going to open up to questions, but someone said, what if my database isn't as big as people that have been in a business for a while? Okay, sort out your database first. All right, make sure you know that inside out, you know every single client, you've reached out to them. Then sort out your marketing plan, your action plans, and just do the things that you never have time for, but you have the time to do them now. It's not fun, it's not exciting, but if you do this stuff now, you will be successful, because successful people, they just do is they have these habits and they just carry on doing them, whether they like to do it or not. So we talk about how to be proactive during these times. I would say everyone should ask themselves this question who's in this meeting: what can I control right now? Do that as an exercise with your team. Just literally ask the question, what can I control? Write everything down on a whiteboard, whatever you want to do, and then say, okay, so this aspect of our business, expenses, what can we do right now? Cut them, blah, blah, blah. All right, in this area, marketing, what can we do right now? Cut, and just go through them one by one. It's not exciting, but it will help you when everyone else hits the ground crawling from this. You can go running. You'll be running past them. You'll be doing the showings, blah, blah, blah. You focus on selling. So let's open up some of the questions that we have here. Asa, I don't know if you looked at some, or if you want me to just go through chat.
So the first one's from Greg.
Okay.
What if you're a new agent and your database isn't that big and you don't have as many clients? How would you advise to build during this time to take some market share when things go back to normal?
Okay, Jim, Mike, who wants to answer that one? I did just go over some of it, but who wants to answer that one?
I'll hit it. You know, if you don't have a huge database, that's great, because you need to have a huge database to have a huge income. So you need to start feeding your database, which is tedious and time consuming, but to Ben's point, this is the perfect time for that, right? I see a lot of familiar faces on this. We have our saying, your database is your business, and the size of your database will be directly related to your income at some point. So now's the perfect time to get creative and feed your database. There's a lot of strategies to do that. A lot of people on this call can give you some great ways to do that, but spend the time feeding it, right? Start with your inner sphere and start working out. There's a lot of lists of people you have access to that you know their face, but they're not necessarily in your inner sphere, right? The whole point of the database is to, over time, take those people who you don't even know or barely know, and by touching them repeatedly over time, you're moving them into the inner circle of your database, into your sphere. And that's the whole point. So start wide, feed the database daily. Just set a goal. Hey, I'm going to add 5 new people a day for the next 60 days. Or I'm going to add 10 new people a day. Just feed it.
I'm going to throw something in there. So, and develop a system to grow your database. I mean, how are you doing that? And what's that going to look like moving forward? So, you know, there was no such thing as a database for me my first 20 years. Okay. And so what did I do? You know, I handed stuff out. I ran on flyers off a copier and walked up and down the streets and handed stuff out. Couple things I would do today, because if I'm a new agent, I don't have a big database, I don't have a lot of money, I'm worried. I'm going to become a real estate expert on Instagram and on Facebook. I'm going to grow that and geographically. I'm going to invite people, and I'm going to put an image of me with my family, but me with being a real estate expert, and because that's a free way to grow it. So and a lot of people have a lot better ideas to grow that. And then what am I going to send to my database to people that I have? And I'm going to start to share that. Who am I? How am I helping? And whether that's, you know, I'm working with this food shelter right now. And so I'm going to do, because they need it. So I'm going to do a real big campaign to get people to support this food shelter that I'm having. But people will know that I'm in real estate. And I'm doing that because I can. But that helps you. So it's not just like, do you want to buy? Do you want to sell? But also, if I'm a new agent, I'm going to say, hey, Mike, can I sit one of your open houses? And then I'm going to post that, and it puts you in an image of you're working this house in Queen Village, and you know, so your professional image. You need to have a great professional image and an outreach. You have to tell the world. It can't be I'm number one, or that doesn't matter. people want to work with people who they trust and who they like. And they have to know that you care. And so that's the message I would get out there to slowly grow. Sit open houses when we can go back and grow it from that list. Go to past clients. Also, get testimonials. When you're done a transaction where you're working with a client, you need to send them some links and say, can you put this on Google, Zillow, Facebook? Whenever my wife buys anything, she Googles reviews and sees it. So you got to be in that world. Everybody's doing that today. I think we have 500 reviews on Google, Zillow, and all those stuff. And that's so important. That's free stuff. So in this world of social media, I'm sorry, I'm rambling.
No, you won't. Go ahead, Mike.
So that's what I would do when I don't have a big budget. A big budget. I would work that. So everybody knows that I'm in real estate. I have fun with real estate, but I will tell you, my business has always been attraction. I have never said, hey, do you want to buy or do you want to sell? I'm not saying don't do that. It's always been just sharing my success of another thing to my environment. And people are like, oh, yeah. I get referrals from people that don't know me who say, but Joe told me to call you. Who's Joe? But he knows who I am from my social media presence or from my mailing presence.
So just to summarize a couple of good points there. So if you don't have much of a database, fine, then work what you do have. You're in a perfect position to call every single person in your database, where some agents who have thousands of people in their database aren't able to do that. So, if you don't have a big database, A, work it. B, wait, what was it? I lost the point. Well, work your database, number one. That was number two good points that I had. But something that I think people can do right now, especially as a new agent, and I'm only 2.5 years in the business. Do you know the market inside out? Do you know what the average price of a 3-bedroom home in Fittler Square is right now? Do you know the cost on how much on the average cost per square foot on building, doing a rehab or doing a new construction? Do you know how many homes sold in this block? Do you know if this block is better than the other block? You know what I mean? Like, there's tons of questions you can ask yourself and start learning. What's the average days of market right now? Blah, blah, blah.
Let me just jump one more thing in. When I was with a no-name real estate company back in the 80s, and I was such a student. I worked for a company that didn't even sell real estate. They were property managers. And I became the number one agent, but my market was going after expired listings. So there's going to be a tremendous amount of expired listings. If I'm a newer agent or I want to grow my business, I'm going to learn how to go after expired and withdrawn listings. I'm going to go back, and you have all that information available. So you have what was on the market. I'm going to go back 2 years, and some of them will be relisted. Some of them will be off the market. You will capture business. And then when I would capture an expired listing, I would go and say, oh, you were priced too high. Oh, you need to pull your carpets up. I would tell them what they have to do, brutally honest, on how to sell it. And then when I sold it, I made sure the whole block and the whole neighborhood knew it had been up with somebody else and they didn't sell it. And I did. If you need a solution to selling a property, contact Mike McCann. So there's going to be niches. Also investors. There's going to be people, don't kill yourself with investors that aren't real investors. They can waste your time, but there's going to be opportunities. Like Jim said, I posted something yesterday on Facebook. I was cleaning up. My wife has me doing a lot of cleaning. We're organizing files and stuff in the house. So she shows me these flyers from, it was like 1993. 939 Catherine Street, a 3-story, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house for $99,000. There was one on Bainbridge Street, this big commercial property, 185. And I remember they couldn't sell, so that's how bad the market was at that time. The market had collapsed. And that was a long time. But what I'm saying is that there's going to be opportunities for people to pick up investors, builders, pick up flippers, but hold. And one tip I do want to tell everybody, and Alan Dom taught me this a long time ago, is we make money selling real estate. We build wealth owning real estate. God forbid, if we never sold real estate again. Well, you know what? I've been doing this 34 years. My goal in 1988 was to buy one property a year. And I don't own the fanciest real estate, but to get that paid off in 15 or 20 years. So God forbid. So I said, so when I'm 50, I could retire. I'll own 50 properties and I'll retire. And guess what? I could. I love this business. So I'll be around till I can't walk or talk or whatever. I do this because I love this business. I love the people. I love helping people grow. And as you get more successful, you have much more responsibility than not. But what I'm saying to you is long-term real estate, I've made many, many people very wealthy in downturns. And again, I think this is going to be a short one, by investing in real estate for long-term. I tell people real estate is not a get-rich program, but I've taken so many young people and let them buy a little house in Passyunk Square or Point Breeze or Pennsport or wherever, Fishtown, and clean it up, and they're going to keep it for 15 years, 20 years. And that property will be worth hundreds of thousands more. I just sold one that the guy bought from me in 1989. He paid $65,000 in Bella Vista, right on the border, Bella Vista, Queen Village. $65,000. It's $450,000 now. He didn't do much to it, but so you own.
It's crazy.
Anyway, so there's opportunities, expireds, withdrawing listings, developing investors, because there's people with money out there that will buy real estate today.
And Mike, just to tag on with that, so we had another question. You suggested not to, or you guys suggested not to ask for business from clients. How would you handle clients who are still active in the market and see the market conditions as favorable, i.e. investors, and still want to purchase? So, just some advice on that.
I'll let you be talking a second, but I mean, I would sell them. If someone says to me, Mike, should I invest in real estate? Absolutely. Again, are you going to flip it in a year? Then you shouldn't. But if you're going to keep that property 5 to 7 years, nothing is better long-term. This is where you'll have opportunities. If you look back at your own business, that somebody that bought something 2 years ago, I don't care what happens right now. It's worth much more than that time. I've been in the market where it's gone up. The stuff I bought in the 80s, in the 90s, it went way down 20, 30%. I was crying to my wife. I'm like, only our generation loses real estate. Oh my God. I held on to that. My rents didn't change. By 2003, it was up 300%. So there's times where it goes, so long-term, nothing is better. Nothing builds wealth. Nothing is more stable. The stock market went down. Guess what? My real estate rents didn't go down. Now, there's some people I might be this unique situation. If they have to be delayed a little bit, I'm okay. But guess what? Even if my value in real estate goes down, my rents don't, but it goes way up. So yes, I would absolutely work investors for the right reason. You might find flips. You might find stuff for new construction. Prices to me are going to be stable. It's not going to be a buyer's market. It's not going to be a seller's market. It's going to be a stable market. Long term, it will continue to grow. I was at the Building Industry Association meeting. It was like 9 months ago, and I heard a top economist say, Philadelphia had 60 years of decline with the industrial fallout. And when I was a kid, we called it Philadelphia growing up, and it was an old city. Today, today, it's the resurgence has been about 15 years. He said we have 60 more years of increasing. And I believe that. We're a younger, millennial, hipper, fun city. So long term, Philadelphia is poised will continue to grow. Meds, eds, the Navy Yard. There's so many positive things going on. Anyway.
Jim, do you want to add anything on that?
Yeah, I would say don't get wrong what we said. We're not calling people, pounding the phones, asking for business. But if someone wants to buy or sell, we're capturing that business, right? One of the main things we need to do right now is we need to preserve revenue because we don't know how long the downturn is going to be. So we're working our pipeline. If someone wants to buy or sell, we are capturing the business and we're just finding a way to make it happen, right? We're being resourceful. whether that means getting the seller on the phone to walk through the house with the buyer on FaceTime, showing them the home. Whatever we have to do, we're doing it. Whatever obstacles in the way, we're trying to find a way to safely get over the obstacle and close the business. So the point is, close the business if it's there, but just be tactful in solicitation.
I know what we've been saying to buyers as a team, and why I agree with Mike in that this downturn won't be that long for Philly, because the inventory is so low in Philly still. And the characteristics of a downturn is when inventory is at an all-time high and the demand's not there. We are still historically low in terms of inventory. So that's why, that's what I'm saying to my buyers right now and people that are on the fence that we have deals going on. And I'm saying to them, look, this is a great time to buy still. You've got free money in terms of low interest rates. I mean, and one thing to do that I know we did as a team, tell your clients to refinance right now as well. Have that conversation with them. It's a great touch. It's a great way to educate them in the market and say, I saved myself $100,000 recently refinancing. Jim, I know you did it with a ton of your investments.
Yep. Yeah, it's one of the silver linings in these down markets, right? There's going to be opportunities to build wealth in different ways. And refinancing, adding an extra $500, $600, $700 a month in cash flow. Think about what that would cost you if you had to go out and purchase a property to gain $700 a month in cash flow. You'd have to buy a $500,000 apartment building these days to get a $700 net cash flow. Well, you refi a couple properties, it costs you nothing. You roll your cost into the refi, and that's instant wealth. That's instant cash flow. I'm telling all my people to refi everything they can. Going through the process of refining my properties, I've learned who to use and who can really tackle certain products, and I'm sharing that information with my clients who could do the best LLC refis, who could do the jumbos right now. So that's all good intel that we have because we're close to the ground that we could share with our people, our sphere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a definite, excuse me, Ben, that's a definition of being the expert in our industry. Like, you're not just telling them, you're saying, this is who I recommend you use, because, and you're using them because they're going to give the best service and the best rates. And I do that in all areas. If I tell a seller to fix the house up, I have great resources that I can make that happen. I am the air traffic controller. I have to make things happen. I don't just want to tell people. I guide that ship. And when I meet clients, and this is why I get such great repeat business, I'm not just there to sell their house. I tell them I'm going to be a very important person in your life these next 3, 6, 9 months. And I guide them and I use my resources, whether it's painting a property, doing the home inspection repair, preparing a property, bringing a stager in, refinancing them, whatever that is. I have great resources. They're like my team. My mover, movers are canceling on people. I have a great mover. I mean, anybody needs a mover. I have a great mover. So I'm constantly accountants. So I am helping people in all areas. How everybody says we have to be therapists. We have to be lots of things. We have to be financial people. We have to be therapists. We have to be accountants. We have to be contractors. Again, we don't have to be the expert at anything. We have to bring in that expert for the client. We have to know that general information. And that's why I say becoming the most knowledgeable, because you have to be a confidence builder to create the action and help them with that action. Because most people are nice people. They have busy lives. They're not going to prepare their house, or they're not going to handle these things. So that's what I kind of do was like, and then because I did so much and I care so much, and it's just hooking up resources and making sure it's done properly. It's not like I'm spending tens of hours of doing that. I'm much more valuable. So most of my clients, they don't say, who'd you use your real? I used this guy, Mike. They say, oh, you got to call Mike. You want to buy, you want to sell? That's what I'm talking about. Where I never call people up and say, oh yeah, I'm number one and I can do this. I just don't. That's just not me. But my customers, because of how I care about them and how resourceful I am to help them, and I make them overcome the small, petty stuff. Like, we're talking big picture here. Who cares? We had a deal now. We had to give 2 months because the person might be getting laid off to get it to go to closing. I spoke to my seller. I said, you know what? They might be backing out. There's a percentage right now throughout the country, it might be about 35%, that are canceling transactions. Let's offer them 2 months. I came up with a solution that worked for both parties, and that transaction's going to settlement. So that's what I'm talking about. Sorry, Ben.
Yeah, no, it's providing value. You asked the question, how can I provide value to my database? I think it will cover a lot of areas. Just wanted to say thanks to everyone for turning up. We will be doing a lot more of these podcasts. The idea of this is that we will be bringing the top experts in the industry. Doesn't matter which brokerage you're at. Doesn't matter, we're all in this together. When one agent wins, we all win. We will be doing that. We will be providing value. Jim mentioned about his playbook earlier. We will be adding a video on how Jim prepares for a downturn later on in the Facebook group. But watch your space, because we will be doing classes and events. It will be fun. It will be exciting. Mike, Jim, thanks for joining us on the first one.
Thanks, Ben, and thanks, Asa. Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, and if anybody wants a list of 25 things that we think you should be doing right now, just reach out to us on the social media platforms and we'll send it out to you. We have a nice, clean, crisp, compiled list of a couple dozen things that you can really focus on right now in your business.
Yeah.
Stay safe. Everybody stay safe, healthy. Please, please, please.
Yeah.
All right.
Take care, everyone. Thank you.
Okay. Good day.